What's up, everybody? I'm a teleworker. Today we're reacting to the Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power main teaser. I completely missed that this came out this morning, which is why it took me so long to record this. Um, and then I was listening to the John Campea show, and they were talking about how amazing it was, so I guess I gotta watch it now. I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I grew up with the Lord of the Rings movies and the Hobbit movies. I've read the books, but only the main ones. I haven't read the like any of the side story lore or anything like that. Just the main Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit. And I also played the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games, which I thought were really good. So I really like the world of Lord of the Rings, and I like the idea of them telling other stories outside of the Baggins family. So this this should be really cool. I've heard really good things, so let's get into it.
There was a time when the world was so young.
Damn.
There had not yet been a sunrise. But even then, there was light.
Call to me, lands far away. Elves have forests to protect. Dwarfs their mines. Men their fields of grain. But we Harfoots have each other. For I must now wander this wandering day. We're safe.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel. Put up your sword.
The enemy is still out there. The question now is where?
It is over.
You have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen
Oh shit.
what I have seen.
Darkness will march over the face of the earth.
It will be the end, not just of our people, but all peoples.
I am sorry, but their time has come.
The past is with us all. The past is dead. We either move forward or we die with it.
This could be the beginning of a new era.
Away I must wander this wandering day.
All right, Amazon, I'm sold. I'll be there. That looked really good. I'm not gonna lie. The production on this, you could tell a ton of it is shot on location, and I really, really like that they're going back to a lot more practical effects as far as the makeup and stuff goes. There were some images that came out of the orcs, and they're going back to makeup and prosthetics for the orcs, which I preferred heavily over the CGI orcs from the Hobbit trilogy. Even now, going back and watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy, there are spots where the CGI you could definitely notice it's old, you know? But the Hobbit movies are like 70% CGI all the time, and it's very noticeable. Like, very noticeable, especially in the battle sequences and the up close scenes of the orcs talking and stuff. It's so noticeable, and it drives me insane. It's always bothered me even when the movies first came out. So I'm really happy to see them take this approach of it feels like the original trilogy of movies, which I think that the Lord of the Rings trilogy, in my opinion, is the greatest adaptation of like any book ever. Like I think that those movies took everything that the fan base had imagined and managed to capture that in around 9 hours of footage, which is really impressive. And it looks like this is definitely being made as a love letter to the fans. You could really see the amount of effort that they're putting into building all of this stuff, and the costume design looks absolutely fantastic. The cast looks like they're doing a good job. The crazy, like, I don't know if that was a nightmare she had or if that's going to be the aftermath of a battle sequence in the show, but when they showed all those dead bodies, like, floating, and there was, like, that red glow, like everything's on fire, that was amazing. That shot was insane. So yeah, the cinematography is the thing that impressed me the most. I really, really liked the landscapes and the shots of all the different shots of the kingdoms and the rivers and the statues, and it looks beautiful. And that's, to me, the best thing, like, aesthetically about the original trilogy is the visuals. Like, you can sit there for hours and just look at that, at all those wide shots of those kingdoms and those landscapes and the mountains, and it always blows me away that those movies are as old as they are and that some of that stuff is entirely CGI, because it looks so good still. And I think that this show has so much potential, and you know, having it compete with the Game of Thrones prequel is going to be very interesting. You know, the Lord of the Rings movies have always been perceived as like this nerdy thing, but Game of Thrones was a big stepping in point for a lot of people getting into fantasy now. So I'm curious to see which show does better and which show is better, to be honest. I know Game of Thrones was a big disappointment for a lot of people in its last movie, but a lot of people also didn't like the Hobbit trilogy. So I guess we'll see where it goes. I'm looking forward to it. I think it looks amazing. We didn't get too much story, but it seems like the main character is Galadriel, which is pretty cool. Like, I wouldn't have guessed that, but that seems like a pretty dope character to follow during this time period, so I'm totally fine with that. So yeah, comment down below, what do you guys think? Are you excited for the Rings of Power? Are there any characters from the lore that you are hoping to see? Personally, I'm really hoping when they show the forging of the rings that Celebrimbor is there. Celebrimbor's not part of the original lore, I don't think, unless he's in one of like the side books, but in the Shadow of Mordor franchise, Celebrimbor is the elf that helped Sauron forge the rings, and Sauron betrayed him and killed him. So that would be like the most tragic ending for the show if they introduce Celebrimbor and you like totally fall in love with his character and his family and all this stuff, and then have to watch him die at the end. But it's gonna be cool to see how this plays out, because I'm assuming this is leading into the first war that's at the beginning of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where they have to get the ring away from Sauron. But I don't think we're going to see that war. I think we're going to just see what leads up to it. So my guess is that this show is going to end kind of like Empire Strikes Back, where the bad guys win. Which would be crazy for a TV show to do, because I can't think of any TV series where the villain wins and the show's just over. So that would be insane. So definitely comment down below and let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later.
But when we out all night, do the shit we like, we living for that, yeah. When outside